What's up, y'all? Another episode of Shoe Booty Sports coming at you Tuesday night, November 29th. Graham Powell, host, co-host Bradley Brown. Say what's up, Brad.
What's up? What's happening?
Sports and stuff, just had Thanksgiving and all. How was your Thanksgiving, by the way?
It's pretty good. Lots of good food. Plenty of pies, so that's always good.
I actually did get food despite not getting to spend it with family. I did get to see family Saturday, but yeah, I was sick all last week, so skipped out, although it was a pretty nasty day here, so I wasn't too upset about having to stay at the house. But anyway, quick shout out to our sponsor. Shoe Booty Sports is presented by Rhino Races. Rhino Races is a virtual race series that offers 5 different races: a 5K, 10K, half marathon, a marathon, and the Rhino Ultra. How it is, you sign up for one or all five of their races. They're at rhinoraces.com. Run your race at your convenience, track it with your fitness app, screenshot your results, submit your results there at rhinoraces.com under the submit results section. Once your results are verified by Rhino Races staff, your award will be shipped to you by mail, free shipping on all orders. Again, rhinoraces.com. Also, check out their gear section for t-shirts, wristbands, decals, and more. Again, rhinoraces.com. Also, you can find us on Spotify, Apple, Google Podcast, the Wisdom app. Subscribe to the YouTube channel and follow us on Twitter at Shoe Booty Sports. So I guess we'll touch up on the Battle Line rivalry, which isn't a rivalry at this point, as far as I'm
No,
concerned. I'm with the Arkansas fans on this. It's not a rivalry, but my reasoning for that is you have to actually beat a team around half the time or so for it to be considered a rivalry. At least that's my understanding. And Arkansas has lost, I believe, what, 6 of 7 to the Missouri Tigers.
yeah, it's pretty terrible.
Yeah, so I'm gonna agree with the Arkansas fans. This isn't a rivalry. Missouri has owned that series. They've owned that trophy. Arkansas
Well,
defensively did
they've
not
owned
look
it with
good.
the trophy. Yeah, I think we have the overall record with them.
Yeah, but what have you done for me lately, right?
True.
6 of 7. Yeah, that's pretty rough. I did see like the Ohio State Michigan rivalry. I can't remember who's winning that one. I'll have to go back and look at that. But yeah, Michigan 2 wins in a row. But we'll get to that here in a bit. So yeah, Missouri has owned the rivalry as of late. Defensively, Arkansas looked atrocious. They made their quarterback, the Missouri quarterback, look like Cam Newton, and that guy's not Cam Newton. He
No,
he's a good football player, not knocking him, but I mean, come on, what they made him look like Cam Newton, Heisman Trophy winner back there. Couldn't stop a nosebleed. Of course, they were without what Miles Slusher. He quit the team, so he's back in Tulsa, I believe, is where he's from.
yep.
But he's one of many now entering the transfer portal, which you're going to get that everywhere, at every school. But he jetted out a game early, and so yeah, Arkansas didn't look good all around. Uh, yeah, KJ threw a rare pick. That was on him,
Yep.
and I don't know, man. It just and for whatever reason, Rocket Sanders with the SEC rushing title on the line is sitting over on the sideline for a large chunk of the game, especially early on. I assumed he was like hurt or something, and then he's coming out on
Yeah.
like third down and things. I'm like, what's going on here? You've got to at least you got to give him some carries, man. Get him some carries to get him close. It just give him a chance. I know you want to win the game, but he gives you the best chance to win. And if he's not out there and he can go, what's up with that? Did Pittman give an explanation for that at all, or was it
I don't
even
think so.
asked?
I didn't hear one.
No,
But
I
yeah,
didn't
you get it.
listen.
What was it? First and goal from the 2. He gets it once. I mean,
Yeah, I don't know. It was a frustrating game to watch. I took off
then
early.
you let the tight end take a QB sneak.
That was weird. Yeah, that was weird, and it didn't work. Yeah, it's one thing if it works, but Oh, okay. And
Who would
here's
have
the
thought it
thing.
would have worked?
Yeah,
Like,
and a sneak from like 3 yards out, right on third on like whatever it was, second and goal.
mhm.
It made no sense. It was a goofy, weird game. Yeah, I took off work early just so I could get home just in time for kickoff, and I did. I got home just in time for kickoff, and I might as well. I mean, I might as well stay to work. I mean, hindsight's 2020, right? But gosh,
Yeah,
man, that was frustrating to watch all around. Bad way to end the regular season. You still get to go to a bowl game, so you can still end things on a high note. How much of the team you're going to have for the bowl game? And I don't like this. I don't like that you're going to be without so many players. You know, and what's the last game of the year? The bowl games used to mean something, and for whatever reason, they just don't. You know, to the players anymore. At least these types of bowl games. You know.
yeah. Well, what the what are we projected at the Liberty Bowl? So it's nothing to get excited about. I mean, yeah, we're going to a bowl game, but
Yeah, but you can still end the year on a high note. You can still end the year at 7-6. You know, and had you told me that earlier this year with all the injuries and everything, I would have been good with that. Now, granted, I would have thought like, yeah, they'll beat Liberty, yeah, they'll beat Missouri, they're going to lose to Ole Miss, but you know, I don't want to take away the Ole Miss win or anything like that. But you could still end things on a high note, as high as you can, anyway. Is it Baylor they're talking about? I'd heard that was possibly the team.
yeah, I've seen Baylor. I
What is
think I've seen.
Baylor's record even? I figured they were
I don't
better
know.
than that. Apparently
Yeah, I
not.
thought so too. I think I seen Oklahoma on somebody's projection, but
Now I did see. I mean, they're the same record, right? 6-6. That's
I
who
believe so.
that's who they should be up against. Another team like that, just because I just Arkansas is. You don't know what you're going to get with them. It's a very Jekyll and Hyde team as of late.
Yeah.
So, all right. Overall, just through 12 games, how would you grade the season for the Hogs?
Uh,
And all things considered,
like a B.
a B. Wow, that's pretty good. B to me is
Well,
like
I was gonna
a
say
8 wins.
C+. Well,
I'm gonna go.
8 wins is a B. Yeah.
I would think
Yeah.
so, wouldn't you? I mean, wouldn't you?
Yeah. Well,
I mean, 6
figured.
wins, you're gonna go B. That's a pretty high grade, man. I'm
I don't
not
know with
gonna
all the
say.
injuries and everything. I mean, if we can go 7 and we can get above 500,
Well, I
but
just mean through 12 games. How would you grade the Hogs to this point? I'm
I
gonna
don't know. My
go.
initial reaction was C plus.
I'm gonna go C minus. It's still still average, 6 wins. You know, average ish. You're at 500. KJ had a good year overall. He had a couple of not great games. A lot of that had to do with injuries. Rocket Sanders had a great year for whatever reason. They don't get him in the ball in the last game. They just weren't consistent. They just weren't a consistent team. Looked really good early, a lot of potential, and then just kind of the wheels came off, and it was just very up and down from there. So I'll give them a solid C minus. Uh, yeah, I did not think the team. We've touched up on this. I didn't think the team would be as good. I don't think you lose a guy like Traylon Burks from a year ago and get better. I don't care who all you have coming in. But Matt Landers ended up being a good addition. Hazelwood, and he's going to the draft now.
Yeah.
Landers is going to be gone just because he's out of eligibility, I believe. So it's going to be a new team, completely new team next year too. But just as far as this year goes, I'll say a C minus. I feel like that's fair. There were some bright spots on defense, but secondary struggled, to put it politely. Drew Sanders was a stud. Bumper Pool was a stud for the amount of time he could play, which was all but essentially the last 2 games. But that's what I'll go with there. It was enjoyable to watch at times, other times not. It was a very Arkansas Razorback season in a lot of ways. Arkansas Razorback football season.
Yeah, just another letdown.
I mean, it's what it is, you know.
They
It's
give
what
you
it
hope
is.
and then they take it away. That's what they do.
I mean, that's what they do. I mean, they're gonna have some relatively easy games early on. Although they beat a South Carolina team it's like that is what 19th in the country today. So they
Yeah.
completely flipped the script. They kind of all I won't say went in opposite directions, but in a lot of ways they did. South Carolina ends the year trending upward and Arkansas trending downward. I mean, they beat Clemson, hand Clemson, their second loss of the season. I know they're not as good as they have been in years past, but it's still a state championship for them.
Dude, they
And
curb stomped Tennessee. That should be enough. That was brutal too.
yeah, I
But
mean,
I didn't expect. Nah, I don't think anybody expected them to do that to Clemson.
I wasn't surprised. Because they've been red. I mean, South Carolina's been red hot, and Clemson's been squeaking by most of their games. That one didn't, and they're not going to light you up offensively. Clemson, not this Clemson team. So that didn't surprise me. When I saw South Carolina won, my eyes opened up some. I was like, whoa, but I wasn't that surprised. I'm not gonna act like I was surprised on that one. But okay, going back to Arkansas, are there other bowl scenarios being tossed out there? Or is the Liberty Bowl considered the favorite?
The only one I keep seeing is Liberty Bowl.
That's all I've heard too. So, all right. So Sam Pittman, is he? What's it going to take for him to kind of? He was really in Arkansas fans' good graces after last year, 9-4, bowl win.
Hmm.
Things aren't as sweet this year. What's it gonna? What are we gonna have to see from him? Well, not necessarily us, but Arkansas fans gonna have to see for things to get a little more comfortable again. They're gonna have to get back up to 8 wins.
Oh, to be comfortable again, yeah, eight wins, 9 wins, but we'll still have the some delusional fans out there. But
Well, that's a given. I mean, if like that, yeah, that's just gonna be the case no matter who's in there. You're gonna get those fans that are gonna call in the radio shows and national champions. That's their prediction or 10 wins. Everybody's excited, and so they're optimistic and they're predicting anywhere between 9 and 11 wins, which Arkansas has done that 11 wins like what once in my lifetime in a season, I think. So and they'll get the occasional 10 win season. I mean, like once a decade or so, seems like, or once every 15. I don't know. But I would say, like I've said this before, man, you get me a coach that just wins 8 games a year, I'm happy with that. Win the ones you're supposed to, be competitive, and the ones you're not supposed to win, and then steal a couple of those. You give me that and win most of your bowl games, I'm as happy as can be. Like I'm good. I'm Arkansas football. I'm good with that. But that's not been an easy thing to find, apparently. We thought we had that, with Bobby Petrino for a bit, but then he goes and
we,
wrecks his motorcycle.
yeah, we did have that. But
Yeah, he screwed that one up though. You can't put that one on Hog fans. He screwed that one up. All right, but in other coaching, well, hires, we'll go to coaching hires, I guess we'll say. All right, Hugh Freeze is the Auburn guy now. What do you think of that hire? I mean,
I
predictable,
mean,
right?
not surprised. He has SEC experience, has experience in hiring call girls. I mean, he's all around good guy.
Yeah, not the best guy to hire, as far as like type of person, but yeah, it's you win games, people are gonna forget about that in a hurry. I mean, people obviously have. That's how he became the Auburn head coach. I mean, that's an upgrade from the Ole Miss job. I mean, you're more likely to win a championship at Auburn than you are at Ole Miss. You might not
Oh
be
yeah.
around as long. You know, you might not keep the job as long. Probably won't keep the job as long. I'll put it that way. But you win games. Yeah, I mean, and that's the thing. He doesn't have to do what he did at Ole Miss. He's going to have more NIL intention or advantages at Auburn. So
How long do
he,
you think he lasts?
I think he's going to win some games. I don't know. I think they're going to probably
Auburn's weird, remember.
they are.
I say 4 seasons.
You don't think he makes it past 4?
Yep.
I think he'll stay. I think he'll be there for the duration of his contract, which is what, 6 years, I believe. I think he will. I think they're going to win games. I mean, he's a good football coach. I mean, you saw how
But
prepared his crew
you got to
was
beat
against,
Bama. But he has experience at beating Bama.
and I was saying,
So,
he beat Bama 2 years in a row at Ole Miss with Swag Kelly and whoever else. It might have been him both years. I don't remember. Those are fun games to watch, by the way. But yeah, he's got experience beating Alabama. So we'll see what happens. But you're right, Auburn fans are weird. Is he going to get the time to turn it around? But with the transfer portal and NIL stuff, the turnaround can happen a lot quicker if you're smart about it. So, and I think it's as far as winning games, I think he's going to do that. Do I think it's just this home run out of the park hire? I wouldn't go that far, but I'd say it's a stand up double. Perhaps a slide in triple. I think it's a good hire for Auburn. Long
yeah.
story short. So how long does Lane stay at Ole Miss now? I say I say A&M cans Jimbo after next season, then they hire Lane Kiffin. He signs his
I can
extension
see that happening, yeah.
and he just goes over to A&M. I'd rather have the A&M job than the Auburn job anyway. You're going to have more money to essentially
Yeah, but
recruit
yeah.
with, and I mean your funding is seemingly unlimited. It seems like as much as they paid Jimbo and your ability to get the number one recruiting class and still go 5-7, which is still pretty wild, right? It's like I'm pretty sure I could probably go. I could win 4 games. You give me the number one recruiting class. I think I could go 5-7. I think I can give that a good run. I got a realistic shot at that anyway. Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
So,
Did you see what? All right, go ahead.
oh, I was gonna say, the LSU game. I was gonna bring up. Can't believe they beat LSU, but LSU looked freaking terrible.
See, that's
Uh,
I mean that's the thing. Like LSU, Arkansas could have beat if KJ Jefferson would have played. Arkansas probably would have beaten LSU that day.
yeah,
And I mean A&M. I mean, even though record wise they were terrible, I mean they got players on that team. So I was surprised, but I wasn't just like, wow, I can't believe this. It was
no, because they did it. I mean, yeah, we've seen it before, but yeah, I don't know. Kind of figured LSU was better than that this season.
well, I mean the win loss, record would indicate that. They were in line to go to they're still going to the SEC championship, aren't they?
Yeah,
Okay, yeah. So puts a damper on things for them a little bit, but I think they're going to get smoked by. I think they would have gotten smoked by Georgia no matter what, though. But
hmm
I think they're going to get smoked Saturday. We'll touch up on conference championship Saturday in a bit, but okay. We'll sticking to rivalry week. Uh, the big one. Well, the big one I tuned into was Ohio State Michigan. So, how much of that game did you watch, and were you surprised at all with the outcome? I was not surprised. I was a little surprised it was as Michigan dominated as much as they did.
Yeah.
But again, second year in a row, Michigan, the more physical team, the more dominant team. I guess Michigan did end up having the right guy after all, in Jim Harbaugh.
Yeah, I watched most of it. But yeah, I wasn't surprised.
Yeah,
Uh,
Stroud is officially out of the Heisman Trophy conversation for me. I thought he's been the best quarterback all year, but Caleb Williams at USC looks like he's been the best football player all season. It looks like he's got to be the front runner to win it. And speaking of, SC jumps into the top four. So I mean, the committee got it right. Like this is the correct 1 through 4. Yeah, Georgia, Michigan, TCU. Now SC's in there. Of course, that can all change. That can all change after this week. Who knows
yep.
what's going to happen? Yes, like Big 12 championship. Kansas State has always been that team. That's like the team I do not want to face in a conference championship game because they've wrecked so many seasons for people. Going back to like 2004, I think, when they just curb stomped OU. When OU was undefeated, and then in line, and they still got the nod to go play USC in the BCS championship game, and then USC really curb stomped them. That was the Liner Bush heyday. But this is a fun week, conference championship week. I don't think the SEC one's going to be that competitive. I think Georgia will probably take care of business.
Wonder what the spread is on that game.
Probably about 20 or so, I would think. And that sounds about right. Georgia's not necessarily just blowing teams out, but they do just enough. They do just
G-
enough to get the job done, get a win.
Georgia 17 and a half. Over
Yeah,
under 51.
I was close. Yeah, I figured it would be something like that. That's just Georgia games. They'll win the 31-10, games. It seems like that's always like their scores, or it's around that. Or what they have like a 16-6 win over Kentucky or someone earlier in the year,
Yeah, I
fairly
think it was
recently.
Kentucky.
Yeah, within the last few weeks. But who does the Pac-12 one might be? Yeah, that'll be interesting. SC, and their only loss was to Utah, which is who they're playing. That's one to keep your eye on. And I'm sure it'll be, the last game on, so I'm sure I'll check that one out. But do you see anybody of the 4 teams that are in the top 4, which do you think is most likely to fall and get knocked out? And if so,
It's got to
who
be
do you
either
see stepping in to take that place? Hypothetically, of course.
be TCU. I would think going up against K State. I don't know unless Purdue does their usual end of year Purdue stuff and pull off an upset. But I don't see that happening with Michigan this year. Um, I don't
I
know
don't,
what are the college football rankings? Who were the who were the first two out?
I
Ohio State and
didn't.
Alabama. Yeah, I don't know about that. And they've
Yeah,
got Tennessee below Alabama, and they have the same record, and Tennessee beat Alabama. I know
Tennessee
it's
doesn't
a
have their quarterback either, though. You gotta
true.
factor that in.
Yeah,
You gotta
I don't
factor
know,
that in.
man. I mean, everybody. I mean, yeah, I'm sure the SEC is going to want to see Bama in there if one of those slips up and loses. But I don't know. I don't think Ohio State gets the nod. I mean, hell, they lost at home in the biggest game of the year.
Okay, fair question here, and got kind of blown out.
Yeah.
You know. All right, who would you take? Who should get in? 2-loss Alabama or one loss Ohio State? It's
Who?
kind of tough, right? Because I feel like I
Okay,
feel
so
like
what were
Ohio
Alabama's
State should
losses? It was oh
LSU, both close losses. Tennessee and LSU, both nail biter losses. And Ohio State, and again, it was most recent. It's to your rival. It's at home, and you just get embarrassed at home.
Yeah. Bama's were each on the road, right?
Yes, yes,
Yep. Bama.
and I guess you got to factor that in. If you're just
Bama
going to
gets
ask
it.
me who I think is better and who deserves who I think is the better team and therefore deserves to be there because you want the top four, I'll say Alabama. It's odd to say that because I'm always
Yeah, I don't want them in there.
exactly like I feel like the committee would find a way to get a 3 or 4 loss Alabama team in there if it ever expands to like 8 or 12 or something like
Dude,
that.
yeah, if it expands, Alabama's always going to be in it.
Yeah, they'll
It's
be
like,
in it every
oh,
year,
look who makes it in. 7-5, Alabama. They make pull the last spot.
which
It's
they'll
like,
never be
cool.
under Saban. But you know, uh,
Yeah.
of those four, I'll say TCU would be the one to fall just because of Kansas State's history. But I'm going to pay particular attention. I think Utah, I mean, could again give SC some fits. I mean, SC may blow them out this time around, but it'll be those bottom two. But to pick one, I'll say TCU would be the team to fall just because Kansas State does that all the time in the Big 12, seemingly. Not all the time, but it feels like it. They've done it enough for me to justify picking that basically as the one that could fall. But yeah, gosh, I guess I would take. Yeah, I don't want Alabama to find a way to squeeze in there though. Yeah,
Nope.
I don't want to
I'm
see it.
hoping for 0 losses, no upsets in the top four.
Yeah, at least in the top
That'd
four,
be
right?
great.
I mean, that could be fun. SC and Georgia. I don't think Caleb Williams is going to have as much of a field day against Georgia against that
No.
defense. But I mean, the Michigan TCU game could be fun. That could be a good one. I don't know. Michigan USC seems like that would be a really good matchup too, though. Gosh, it's gonna be fun. But yeah, uh, gonna be fun football to watch Saturday for sure. Okay, little NFL recap. All right, so Chiefs take care of business. They officially have the no, they don't. The Eagles. Eagles are 10-1. Eagles 10-1, take care of business. Washington is all of a sudden 75. You look at the NFC, like the wild card, it's all NFC East teams. It's Giants, Cowboys, Redskins. And what is Dallas like 8-3? I think
Eight
it
and three.
is.
Yep.
Yeah, Giants are the Giants seven and
7-4.
four. Yeah,
Yeah.
okay, and then Washington's 7-5. Dude, Washington's turning it around with Taylor Heineke at quarterback, man. So yeah, I guess Carson Wentz is
Yeah.
officially done so. But Heineke I mean, he's not going to light up your stat book, but he gives them a certain spark, and the team the team believes in that guy, and they're finding ways to win games. I mean, they're well coached. They're going to be well coached under Ron Rivera. But the Eagles, man, the Eagles are fun to watch, man. That's a fun team to watch for me. That's my favorite team to watch in the NFC. Yeah, it's kind of crazy, man. It's going to come down to possibly Philly and Dallas, as far as who the best teams are in that league. Tampa leading the South at 5-6. They're going to get a
Dude,
home game, man. They're going to get a
has
home game.
has Brady ever lost to the Browns before last week?
That's right, they did lose to Jacoby Brissett, by the way.
Yeah.
I don't know that. I don't know if he has. I don't know if he's. I don't know if he has ever lost to them. It's an interesting stat because there are teams that he's undefeated
Yeah.
against.
Hmm.
I can't remember if the
Quite
Browns
a
are
bit
one
of
of
them,
them
I
or
think.
not. I don't know if there's a lot, but I know there's one. I can't remember who it is, but yeah, that's an interesting stat line. But yeah, I mean the Bucks are going to host a home playoff game, just sitting at 5-6 right now. and they just not look good. I mean, rest in peace to my fantasy team, by the way. I'm officially out of the playoffs. No, I have a 0% chance now on making the playoffs. It was at 2% for the last 2 weeks, 1% a couple of times. But there was that one little heartbeat every 10 seconds. But nope, lost again this week. Officially 4-8 now, so officially out of it. First time
Hey,
I did
and
not
now
make
you
a
can relax. So
yeah, didn't
relax and
didn't
enjoy football.
didn't
Like,
even bother to hit up the waiver wire today. I was like, well, it's no point now, so forget it. Not like I've done
yeah,
a good job at it anyway. So I'll just leave that one alone. So rest in peace to that crew. Uh
no.
yeah, gonna just
Definitely
life.
have to hit up all three of mine because I'm still in the playoff hunt. So
Yeah, I think I'm still gonna stick to one league, but if I were ever to make an argument to join another one, this would have been the year to do so. But yes, okay. Yeah, Eagles to me the most fun team to watch, at least in the NFC. Chiefs are always going to be the Chiefs, man. Taking care of business. That was a close one though. They had the other night. They find. I mean, you got to win close games in this league. It's the NFL. You know, you're all pro. Everybody's a pro. Even the worst teams are gonna put it together at times. Uh, Not that this is one of the worst teams, but they did have probably the worst quarterback in the league up until making a change. Mike White at the Jets. How about him the other day?
he was showing out.
Yeah, I
Mm,
mean, we'll see if it lasts, right? But clear
He
upgrade
usually
from
doesn't, but yeah,
clear upgrade from the Cougar Hunter, Zach Wilson. And I mean, he just didn't look good. And then to essentially not take responsibility in the press conference. I know you're irritated by the question the reporter asking you, but that's when you gotta man up and just be like, yeah, I mean, just answer the question honestly. Yeah, I let the team down. I got to do better. I got to play better. That's a sign of maturity. That's a sign of taking responsibility, and that's going to look good in the locker room. And him answering the question of no, whether or not he, well, what even was the question was essentially a
if he can,
disappointment.
if he contributed to their like disappointing play, and he's like, no,
Yeah, or if did you let the team down
yeah,
essentially?
maybe that's what it was.
And it just no. Like I said, I know you're irritated by the question, but it's a fair question, and you should feel that way. You should feel like you let the team down because you did let the team down. So, and didn't even dress out. Didn't even dress. Just a healthy scratch. But I mean, I'd put Flacco over him anyway if it wasn't going to be Mike White. But that's a good team and a good defense. I mean, that's a
Yeah,
really good defense the Jets have. So you got to go with the guy that's going to give you the best chance to win. And is it Robert Sala? Is that the coach's name? I mean, he can coach defense. I mean, we've seen that. But you got to, and this is a good move by him. Uh, sit,
dude.
sit Zach Wilson. Let him learn potentially. But if Mike White shows that he can do it over, the next 3, 4 games, whatever it can be. Hope if he can put together a stretch like that of consistency, then yeah, you got to roll with that. All right,
Yeah, how
so
about Trevor Lawrence, man?
yeah,
Freaking beating Jamar, yeah, or Lamar.
I was
Sorry.
like Jamar
Jamar, you don't
Chase,
know Jamar, dude? Yeah,
yeah,
yeah. He plays
uh,
quarterback. Don't
like
worry. Yeah, Lamar.
Jamar Cuss Russell. No, I mean, he hadn't been in the league for a
Nah.
long time, and he certainly wasn't winning games. But
No.
yeah,
But
I
yeah,
mean, Trevor Lawrence lit it up. I saw some very interesting stats. He was like leading several categories, but I mean, dude, throwing darts, like throwing those NFL throw darts, especially on the 2-point try and on that last
yeah,
drive of the game. I mean, he's a champion. I mean, he's a national champion, number one overall pick, and you see why.
yeah. Lamar let me down that game, so I'm calling Jamar. If he scores more points, I'll call him by his real name. All right.
Well, I didn't like him. I didn't like Lamar's tweet at a troll after the game. I don't know if you saw
Oh
it or
yeah, I've seen
not.
that
Yeah.
one. Yeah.
But it was just like, come on, man. That's not franchise quarterback, you know, behavior. Like it
Nah.
was like, yeah, you're essentially, I don't want to say you're right, like, but just leave the trolls alone. Like that, like don't do that. Don't waste don't waste your thumbs on
Yeah,
that.
man, get one of your friends to post that on Twitter under their account. I mean, let's do that.
Yeah, it's not a good look, especially for a guy that's trying to get nothing but guaranteed money and a fat contract, which I would pay him if I'm Baltimore. But you
Yeah.
don't do that. Like just leave that alone. Like just worry about your play and just let the trolls be there on Twitter. Don't worry about that crap. Lamar's a good guy. Like I follow him on Twitter. He does a bunch of cool stuff like with kids and charities and stuff. And it wasn't like it was just an egregious thing he did, but it's still not a good
No.
look, you know.
No.
Just he's better than that. Leave that crap alone. Leave the ass hats on Twitter where they belong. But yeah, I mean Trevor Lawrence showed out, man. I mean he's emerging. The Jags are getting better, and with Doug Peterson as your coach, you're going to keep getting better. And the set on Doug Peterson, just letting it all hang, man. He just he just unzipped it, man, and just let it all hang out, man. On that 2-point try, ballsy
No.
move, loved it. Helped that it worked, but I liked it anyway. Like, no, let's go win the game now. All right, so all right, we will jump to hoops real quick. Did you catch much of the Hogs in Maui?
Yeah, I caught a little bit. I caught the last two games.
I
So
caught all three. Very entertaining games. No, I didn't. I think it. No, yeah, I didn't catch all three. I did catch the last two. I mean, both excellent games. San Diego State fans were a little rowdy. It looked like after the game. Muss issued a statement, something about like after the game, like doing that, at them. But
yeah.
they were being pretty obnoxious from the looks of things. So I don't think he needed to issue an apology or anything. But whatever. Take it.
Yeah.
It's it's something I guess you got to do, PR thing. But they eked out one against. I mean, I walked in last night. I forgot they played Troy last night, and I walked in and yeah, it was a tie ball game with 8 minutes left. But then they go on a 17-0 run to end it. So,
Yeah, I
uh,
was at that game.
oh, you were there?
Yeah, I was there.
Okay, well, I'm
It
glad
was cool.
yeah, I'm saying, glad we got a dub there while you were there. I need to go check out a game, but
If we would have lost to Troy, I would have just never went to another basketball game again. Like,
yeah, that kind of
oh, there's my son.
ruins your
Oh,
Razorback experience. But we'll catch up more on the Hogs next week. Hog hoops now. We got a while till Hog football, but until then, see y'all next time.